Welcome back. We're talking about the chaos in Somalia, how it's affecting the Somali expat community around the world, and whether it poses a national security threat to America and other countries. I'm joined by Mohammed Dini, a Somali-American lay preacher from Columbus, Ohio, Hussein Samatar, a Somali-American community activist, and here in the studio, Jennifer Cook, who works on U.S. Africa policy at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, D.C. And we're going to start off the second half of this program. Let's go to one of our viewers who's called us. This is from Mahad in Amsterdam. Mahad, go ahead with your question.
I have two questions. The first question is about when Sheikh Sharif was in power in Mogadishu. A lot of people died in that moment in the area of Kismayo when American 16 bombarded in the area of Kismayo.
Yes.
And Sheikh Sharif, his group was at the moment in that area. Now they return the politics and they support Sheikh Sharif. Why didn't they support the first time?
I'm sorry.
And the other question, maybe it's the another subject. And the other thing is about the pirates in Mogadishu. A lot of countries are in the sea in Somalia. What do you think about that?
Okay, let me ask Hussein Samatar if he wants to answer one of those.
Sure. I really think that the Somali issue starts and ends with the Somalis in Somalia. They just have to figure it out, ways to coexist among themselves, whether they call clans, tribes, no matter whatever you call them. You are Somalis, the land belongs to you guys. In the diaspora, we could be, as Jennifer said, we can send money, we can pray for Somalia, we can try to influence the American policies to really favor Somalia as a country. But at the end of the day, the problem of Somalia starts and stops with the Somalis finding ways to coexist with themselves, among themselves, and then finding ways to really live with the neighboring countries like Ethiopia and Kenya. At the end of the day, after 20 years of fighting, we continue to fight. It does not make sense. And Somalis, once for all, they just have to stop blaming everybody else and finding within themselves how to stop this civil war.
Okay, let's go to another caller.
Let me go ahead and jump in with regards to the question he had asked about the piracy. And I'm going to address this from an Islamic perspective. It ought to be made very clear to everybody that the taking of a human person's belongings without his permission or consent is not permitted. Therefore, I often hear this story of, well, no one is guarding our seas and our waters, these people are good and so forth. See, our feelings, our emotions has to always be tied to Islam and Allah and the Quran. And so any one person that takes another human person's possessions wrongfully without his permission is illegal, not permitted, and not pleasant in the eyes of God. So piracy should be something that we Somalis and Muslims generally should reject categorically.
Okay, we're getting more calls. Hassan in the United Kingdom, what's your question?
Well, my question is, to be honest with you, is the matter of the Somali diaspora, whether they're in UK or in USA, is the matter of there is no government. If there is no government, there's warlords, then they'll go to Islamic courts. And they've seen these little kids, they've seen people dying or Ethiopian fighting. And majority of the kids, maybe they brought up either their granddad or their cousin, or some of them their mom or their dad, they still back home. And every day they have a call, they say, oh, your mom is free outside from Mogadishu, your dad has passed away. So they should, sometimes that's the feeling where they're coming from. They might go back and fight from there without not even reaching from the mosque. So the main point is, if Somalia get any mutual government or any proper government at least, then they can tackle. But without a government means anyone can control. One day the Ethiopian control Mogadishu, the second day Al-Shabaab controlling Mogadishu. So without a government, on my point is, they cannot tackle anything.
Thank you, sir. Well, Jennifer, the point that the caller was making, that
go ahead.
I'll get to you right now. That Sheikh Ahmed, who was elected the leader, Is there any chance that there will be some stability, that he will be able to fill in the vacuum in Mogadishu?
It's a big question right now. It is positive in some way that the Ethiopians have now withdrawn, that Sheikh Sharif is reaching out to various elements within Somalia. But there are going to be very hardline spoilers that don't want this effort to succeed. I think this is when the international community has to be very careful not to be getting behind one individual and one agenda, but letting Somalians, giving them space, as Mr. Samatar said, to kind of work this out among themselves. I also think it's a moment that the Somali diaspora can play an important role in sending a message of, to pushing people to compromise. No one group is ever going to govern Somalia. The absolute key will be a compromise and coalition, and that is the only way. And if the diaspora can help push that agenda among themselves and to their relatives and back in Somalia, if you could get Somali youth here kind of focused on a peace agenda, I think that would be, a very positive engagement.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's a very delicate moment, which unfortunately could go either way, but it is a hopeful moment, I would say.
Okay. Hussein Samatar, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I appreciate it. I think Jennifer said it very well and eloquently. I cannot add anything more there. But what I wanted to say was that is what we have been saying in the diaspora for some time. The reason we like it as some sort of federal government in Somalia is a government that speaks at itself and delivers for the people of the Somalis. Enough is enough. The Somali community in Somalia and all of us, really, we suffer if they suffer. And we absolutely want a government that is by the people and for the people, listens it, and Jennifer, you're absolutely right. We have to do whatever it takes.
Okay.
I think the people of the diaspora, no matter where we're at, to help.
I want to try and get one quick question in from a caller also in the United Kingdom. This is Ahmed. Go ahead.
Yes, my question is, if youths are going from America and around the world and fighting for their country, people have fought for their country since the Second World War, and people do go back to their homeland and defend it. I haven't seen anything in the media, all other countries in conflict, and people do go back. If a couple of Somalis or a couple of youths are going back to their homeland and defending their soil, how is that a threat to a UK, and what is the big problem about it? They're defending their country. That's every youth, every person's right to defend their own country.
Okay, we don't have any time. Mohammed Dini, I'm going to give you a chance to answer that. We have about 30 seconds, please.
Okay, well, the thing is, one does not have to do harm to an American or a British national for it to be wrong. A lot of events that are unfolding back home, sadly, are wrong Islamically. The killing of people, the blowing up of cars and innocent folks, suicide bombing, all these things are things that are not permitted. That should not be done in Somalia, in Washington, D.C., or London for that matter. So it's the principle that we're speaking out against, not really the country. Every Somali has every right to go back to Somalia and do as he wishes, so long as his harm does not inflict innocent
people.
Okay,
I'm sorry. My apologies.
That's a big part of the picture.
My apologies. I'm going to have to interrupt you there. Thanks to all of you for joining us, and thank you for watching out there. On the next show, the Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Luis Moreno Ocampo, talks about how he will pursue his arrest warrant for the Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir. That's the next show. See you then.